Hello everybody, it is the Amazing Gaming Guy here, and welcome back to Planet Coaster, where we are continuing with our Dueling Dragons build. We are, just to recap, we're building a dueling coaster, so that's two suspended coasters that theoretically will complete their ride sequences completely in sync with each other. So they come into the station at the exact same time, they do a few of the elements at the same time, such as loops and things. That's what we're aiming for. Of course, there is no synchronizing feature in Planet Coaster yet, or if there is, I've not found it. So this has meant that I've had to do a lot of very fine tuning and adjustment of this coaster, which you saw in the last video. So, to start this video, I have recolored the coasters. We now have red coaster and gold coaster, just because, these are very significant colors in a lot of Oriental cultures. It seemed like a good starting point for these two rides in terms of their color schemes. I wasn't too keen on keeping them black and white. I know a few of you guys thought it looked good as in like yin and yang sort of scenario, but personally myself, I wanted to give it a little bit more color than that, so I'm going for red and gold currently. We'll see how it goes. So I've started by actually building some terrain up around the coaster. One of the problems I've got with this coaster at this point in time is when you look at it, it looks impressive, but it also looks like a bit of a mess. Because there's so much going on. There's so many supports, there's so much track, and it's all in a very, very sort of small condensed space. It's messy. It genuinely is, it's messy. And I wanted to try my best to hide a little bit of that mess, so that's why I've started building this mountain on the side here on the left, just to cover some of that stuff. And I want to do something to cover some of this stuff over here in the middle. I'm also closing up the pit here, so you can't actually see down under this area of path. I want it to, shoot up out of the ground, but I don't want you really to be able to see underneath, because again, it's messy down there. And I just want to sort of regulate what you see of the ride before you're on it, if you know what I mean. So when we get to that big sort of mess of ride in the distance, you can't see it in the shot at the moment, but it's the main body of the ride. You probably know what I mean with the loops and stuff. I want to try and use buildings or land or mountains or something to cover at least half of that track, so that it's not visible. I'm leaning towards doing it with buildings currently. I think that would be quite a good way of doing it. I could make a series of buildings over there to cover some of the track and supports, just to make it a little bit less messy to the eye. That's kind of what I want to get rid of. I want it to look impressive but not messy. So back to the build that's going on right now. I'm currently just putting some fencing around that hole in the middle where these two pieces of track come out from underneath that underneath the path. And this bit's quite good because I think they do this, the two coasters do this section at the same time. They come out of that hole at pretty much the same time and do the loop at the same time. So this is definitely going to be a feature for people's view of the ride when they come in. It's, those two loops are very, very strong, and I definitely want those to be it's one of the first things you see of this ride when you come in. It's all about regulating views and stuff, just trying to control where people look and what people see when they first see the ride, when they're on the ride, when they're in the queue, all that sort of thing. It's all very important. And, it stops people from knowing too much about the ride before they've ridden it, if you know what I mean. You don't want to know exactly everything about the ride before you go on it. That's my motto anyway. So that's why I like to have quite a few sort of inside areas or areas hidden from the paths and things, because personally for me, if I go on a roller coaster, I want there to be a little bit of the unknown. I don't want to, expect everything. I don't want to know exactly what's going to happen on this ride, and that's why I love roller coasters that have like a pre-show indoor section, or that go into a building or something, or into terrain, into a mountain, or fly underneath the path or something. Just areas that you don't get to see unless you're actually on the ride. So that's my thinking when it comes to putting buildings and stuff around this coaster. Now guys, I just wanted to address something. I did a test live stream a little while ago, a few days ago, or a week, depending on when this comes out. And I just want to thank all of you guys who turned up to have a watch and help me to make that successful. I'm very happy to say that it was successful, and I will be doing more. I'm not going to put out any sort of schedule or anything yet. I got to work it out in myself, work out it in my head. I've got to decide, when I can do it, what I want to do in it. But yeah, it was very successful, and I'm very thankful for you guys. The audio quality was not good, and I will be fixing that, and I'm very sorry for that. But it was a test stream, cut me some slack. No, you guys are actually very good. You all acknowledged that it was a test and that things needed work. So thank you very much for joining me on that. If you did, and if you haven't seen it, it's up on my channel. You can go back and look at it if you want, or just give that one a miss and catch me on the next one. It'll be great fun. I had a load of fun doing it, and I think you guys had fun watching it. I hope so. So thank you very much for that. Now, onto the build again. I am just trying to give this path area some structure. I don't want it to look like it's flying. So I'm building up some walls and things just to try and make it look a little bit more solid. I've not quite finished with that, and I will be going back to that in the next video. But we've just jumped into some of the footage from the live stream I was just talking about. So excuse the big loss in video quality. It seemed wrong to me to have done all of this stuff in the live stream and then not feature it in the video. I was saying in the live stream, oh yeah, I don't need to put this in the video because it wouldn't be interesting to watch in a video, this stuff, but it turned out that I built some cool stuff. If I hadn't built cool stuff, fine, I wouldn't show it, but I actually quite liked what I built, so I thought it would actually work well in a time-lapse, some of it. So here we go, this is what I'm doing here. So I decided that I wanted to build some Torii gates on the sort of approach to the station area and the sort of main village around this. I think I'm definitely going to end up building like a Oriental or Japanese style village. The theming's definitely going more in the way of Japanese than any other sort of Oriental culture. So I think I'm going to start calling it that now. I'm going to start calling it Japanese theming. Yeah, so building these Torii gates using just long planks of wood that I've coloured red, and then I'm using some brick pillars for the sort of bases of them here, trying to match the colours as best I can. Black for the sort of bases, and a nice sort of vibrant red for the actual gate itself. Now, if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you may have noticed that Japanese theming is something that I always come back to. I've done it in Minecraft, and now I'm doing it in Planet Coaster, and it's just, I just think that traditional Japanese buildings and culture is just really, really beautiful, and I know a lot of other people really sort of respect that that sort of style, that culture, that world. Architecturally, it's so unique and so beautiful, and I just can't stop myself from coming back to it when I'm doing a build, whether it's in Minecraft or Planet Coaster or anything really. If it's possible to build something in a Japanese style, I probably will do it at some point. So it was only a matter of time until I started doing this. And I'm very glad that I have, because it turns out that Planet Coaster kind of does lend itself to doing sort of a Japanese style. I think it's got a tile set that's very good for Japanese roofs and buildings, and I'm making this work, this Torii gate. I'm using these, they're a different material, they don't look like wood, but I'm using these, I don't know, what is it, like metal or plastic or whatever it is. I'm using these sorts of pieces for the top because they have that piece that curves, which is great because I needed that for the top of this structure. I've been wondering whether I should try and cover it in wood. I think it would be really difficult, and I don't think it would have the desired effect. So I don't think I will do that, but I did think about it for a while. Yeah, but I've decided against that, I think. Literally just now, whilst talking about it, I've decided, you know what, that's a really bad idea. I'm just going to leave it how it is. But yeah, I think this is turning out okay. Oh yeah, I made a little bit of a mistake there when I duplicated the wrong piece. Oopsie. But yeah, no, I think it's turning out okay. Something that annoys me is that bit in the middle of the Torii gate, the sort of middle divide, is slightly too far to the left. Next time I get into the game, I'm gonna try and move that to the right a bit, because it's really annoying me that it's sort of off-center. Yeah, that really grinds my gears. Don't like that, and I'm sure you guys aren't so pleased with that either. I'm very sorry for that. But now onto one of my very favourite parts of building in Planet Coaster. This is putting down foliage and rocks and changing the terrain. I found it so satisfying putting down trees and stuff and rocks. I don't know why. I enjoy it a lot more than building actual buildings themselves. Maybe it's because there's a lot more freedom when you're working with foliage and nature. You can kind of put stuff wherever you want and it will look kind of good, so long as you follow a few rules of you know, how you want people to see something. So you don't want to cover up important areas. See, I've covered up sort of the sides of that Torii gate a little bit, but I've avoided covering any of the top or any of the ornate stuff on the top of the Torii gate, and that's really because I wanted to cover some of the bits where the different planks of wood meets, but I didn't want to, you know, cover the actual gate itself. And something else that you can see that I've done on the side here is I've leveled the land so it goes down in steps towards the lake where the coaster is, and now I'm putting in rocks and things just to make this look more chiseled out, more rocky. Yeah, the rocks make it look rocky. Who'd have thought it? Yeah, just trying to make it look a little bit like sort of a Japanese lake, or like one of those beautiful sort of lake areas around a temple or a shrine or something. I'm sure you know the ones I mean, where there's just sort of pebbles and things and beautiful fish in the water and like all these different types of sort of algae and stuff in it. You know, those are beautiful environments, and I'm trying to sort of replicate that here to make it, I don't know, it needs to be like a mix between a really peaceful Japanese scene and, of course, the intensity of the roller coaster. It's like these two dragons having a battle over this serene, perfect Japanese landscape. That's what I'm really going for in terms of my building of this ride and the area around it. And, you know, I'm going to employ the same sort of thing in the village. I'm going to make it a really nice sort of peaceful little village, I think. And that will sort of contrast the intensity of the roller coaster, and there'll probably be some sort of maybe dragon influence or some sort of sinister influence sort of looming over the town, but the town itself is quite peaceful and serene. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me and watching it. If you liked it, please give it a like, comment and subscribe, and hit that little bell thing so you get notified when I upload. And I'll see all you guys in the next video. Goodbye.